Jake Sanderson.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, Sens fans? Welcome to a back-to-back edition of the Locked On Senators live watch party. I'm your host, Jack Richardson, here to walk you through the Ottawa Senators playing the league best Colorado Avalanche on a back-to-back in Colorado. We could be in for a doozy here, folks. We could be in for a long night. It could be a fun one. Probably going to be a long night just based on what we saw last night in Utah with the way the Senators played, and obviously the Avalanche sitting there not having a game last night. They're coming off 2 regulation losses, which is rare for this team. We'll dive into all of that as the game unfolds here. But just before puck drop, obviously just want to mention that this is brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub, as always, right in the heart of downtown Ottawa on Bank Street. Our friends at the Glebe Central Pub have a shuttle to every Sens game to and from the Canadian Tire Center. It is the best way to go see a Sens game, so check them out if you haven't, and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. Brought to you by the GCP. Of course, we'll have the postcast for you, post-game as well. The boys will be here every single night, win or lose, hard times or not, they are here. And yeah, we're going to walk through this again. So if everyone hasn't stepped in and joined us last night, this is a pretty simple watch party kind of vibe for me. I sit here, I watch the game, got it over here, talk about what's going on, interact with the chat a little bit. I'll bring on the boys possibly throughout this game. And just talk about what we're seeing. And obviously last night in Utah was not that good of a game. I think personally I had a bit more energy and was a bit more happy, let's say, just because it was the first watch party and I was excited to do it. But in a nutshell, in a vacuum, the game the Senators put on the ice last night in Utah was far from acceptable. Let's just say that. They got outplayed in the third period when they needed a goal. Wasn't good. So hopefully there's some kind of pushback, but they absolutely need to bring some kind of A game tonight. Given who they're playing, they need to be on their game. And quite honestly, I know that this is the time of moral victories being over, because they need points, they need all this, but they need to play a solid game. They can't get run out of the building tonight. I think just with considering just where they are in the standings and how this season feels like it's just about to slip away, there's still a lot of hockey left to play this season, specifically before the Olympic break. This would be a big message if they can even just play a good game tonight. So that's what we're going to be looking for. But again, we're here for the long haul. The lines are in a blender tonight. Lars Eller back from his foot injury. He hasn't played, I think, since mid-December. They're just going to read through the lines here because every single line is different tonight up for the forwards. A little bit of changes on the back end as well. So we're going to start. It's Tkachuk, Stützle, and Michael Amadio on the first line. That's a new look right there. They might have tried it a couple times, but getting Timmy and Brady back together, obviously didn't like the look of what they had last night. So 2 superstars together up front. And then they're going back to what's worked with David Perron, Dylan Cousins, and Drake Batherson as your second line. Then back to Ridley Gregg, Shane Pinto, Claude Giroux. So again, these are new lines in the context of what we saw last game, but we've seen 2 of those lines for sure. And then a fourth line of Nick Cousins, Lars Eller, and Fabian Zetterlund. I don't like Zetterlund in that spot. We'll talk about it throughout the game, but I don't think he's warranted losing minutes the way he has in the last few games, especially. So we'll see what that line looks like. But again, they were looking pretty good. Perron, Halliday, and Cousins was a good line. So we'll see Lars Eller here against a really tough opponent. And then on the back end, we've got Sanderson, Zub, standard, your top pairing. And then it'll be Shabbat and Jordan Spence. And then Nicholas Matanpalo coming in and plays with Tyler Clevin tonight. No Nick Jensen. Again, this is per the team projected lineup. On the road, there are no other reporters they're tweeting out the lines and warm-up. So that's what the team had. And I'm pointing that out because on the graphic, the team also had Levi Merilainen ahead of Matt Sogard. So it would appear, I don't have game sound, so I don't know if the broadcast has mentioned it yet, but it looks like Levi Merilainen is getting the start back-to-back nights for the Finnish goaltender. And like I mentioned, the Sens did not play well enough last night to win at all throughout the whole game. But I would say that the goaltending, the stats were bad for Merilainen, not Ullmark. But I thought he made some great saves. I think his goals saved above expected was like a minus 0.2 or something like that. So he's right on it. He saved what he was supposed to. for those goals and maybe made a bit more saves he wasn't supposed to make. So we'll see what Maryland can bring. And again, I'm just trying to confirm. Broadcast open with Levy starting there from Mike or M Hall, I should say. And I am going to get a banner up. I didn't do that yet, just before the game starts here. Give me 2 seconds. Got to edit that. We're a work in progress here for these watch parties. As the puck is down, looks like they're starting with Pinto, Greg, and Giroux. I'm really going to lock into these forward lines and just kind of see what we're dealing with, because I think an issue with Travis Green has just been the complete line blender he puts himself in. But at the same time, the players have to know that that's what happens. So they need to be able to kind of go through that and be able to maintain their play when they go through changes like this, right? So, all right, let's lock into this game. Second ever watch party, second in 24 hours. I'm also working on a back-to-back here with those late nights and doing some writing as well. Like it's a bit of a grind, and I'm obviously the tongue in cheek. It's not that much of a grind. It's not that hard. The key parts of the game. What do they have for the key parts of the game? For anyone watching home, that's what I'm seeing on my screen right now. Ottawa, make the most of your chances. That's fair. The Sens had their looks last night, specifically in the second period, and definitely did not make the most of them. And Pinto in particular on that breakaway in the third period, like you just need a goal there. Need a goal from Shane Pinto. So wasn't good enough in that department for the Sens last night. And you're playing a team here that can score goals with the best of them. And here's a guy with the puck right now, Nathan McKinnon and Kel McCarr on the ice. I mean, selfishly, I'm excited to watch these guys play hockey. Like I think they're just outrageous at this game. Here's Tkachuk and Amadio. Tkachuk giving McKinnon a bit of a shot. I like that. There we go. Obviously, a lot of focus here. Oh, Amadio in front. Oh, that was close. I think Brady just took one in the face there, it looks like. Right in the nose. He looks shaken up. That's a little weird. Weird reaction. That's a strange. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, was it his own stick or Amadio's stick? That's a weird play. Anyway, not a bad shift from those two against or that line against the top line for Colorado, obviously. Like I know I'm going to sound crazy here. The Sens can play well against big teams, and I like to. The score bug is important. I pointed this out yesterday. I'm going to say things, and then you can see the score bug, and then maybe later in the game, if it ends up being 5-0 Colorado, you can look at my, what the score bug says and what I was saying at that time. So clearly, right now it's 0-0 early in the first. I feel somewhat confident about their chances for some reason, but that just might be me being a bit too positive. Obviously, they're not on a great stretch right now. 2-4 in their last 6 games. The Sens are. But the Avalanche have lost 2 in a row for the first time this season, I believe, or 2 in regulation for the first time. So they need a win as well. So there should be good energy tonight. Another thing too, and I know that in the NHL in general, it's such a daunting thing, the back-to-backs and the notion of it. And this is a brutal one, the travel that is involved in it. Colorado just sitting there at home. They get to pick off these teams from the Eastern Conference that aren't used to travel like that. But I think the Sens in general, I don't have their record, but under Travis Green have been good on back-to-backs. Oh, Cleven's dropping the mitts with Manson early. I think he just threw a huge hit there, Tyler Cleven. I like the start. I like this. Look at Cleven. He's getting fed a little bit. Yeah, he got fed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, you don't need to win a fight. You don't need to win a fight every single time. You don't. And I think it depends what Tyler Cleven did there. Like the boys clearly like that, obviously coming over to the box there for him. And so I don't, why does he have to fight for that though? Why does he have to drop the gloves for that? That's such a clean hit. That's such a clean hit. That's my pet peeve with hockey. My pet peeve. I love this game more than anything in the world, but having to drop the mitts after a hit like that is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There should be a penalty to Manson, I think, for engaging and making him drop the gloves. I feel like we've seen Tkachuk get called for that in the past at some points, for sure. Like you'd think that's a textbook instigator. That's the cleanest hit you can make for that. I'm actually kind of shocked he had to fight for that, but that's good for Tyler Clement. I like seeing him do that. And you know what else I like there? I like the reaction from the team coming over to the box. That matters. That stuff matters. It doesn't look like Manson's getting an extra penalty there, which I don't know, man. I don't know. Instigator doesn't exist, I guess. That should be a power play. That's crazy. Yeah, the Avs just whip the puck around in the offensive zone. It's crazy. Obviously, this season they're hitting a new level. The Avalanche are, but I think Brent Burns is a nice addition to this decor. Look at him move in. Wow, nice stop, Levy. Great stop. But the Avalanche have given the Sens problems for years. I don't know if how many wins they have in the last few seasons against this team. They've just absolutely eaten them alive for the most part. Last year they played a back and forth game. They kind of kept fighting back, but they were down the entire time early last season. So it's been a while since they've been in the Rocky Mountains, but that was a good start by Levy. That was a nice save. He's going to be busy tonight, man. I can't believe they're playing him back to back. Quite honestly. Especially, I know he looked better last night, but again, the numbers weren't flattering. So they need Levy Merilainen to figure something out. Like he needs to just find his game. This is clearly what this move is. Look at Sanderson flying. Oh my goodness. I think I like Sanderson. So obviously everything about his game, but when he plays other top defensemen, you can tell he's got an extra step in his gear, which is crazy to say about Jake Sanderson because everything he does has that extra gear. But when he's up against guys like Werenski, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, like tonight, he steps up his game a little bit more. So that's a nice little rush there on the forecheck for him. Sneaky 5-game point streak for Jake Sanderson. Here comes the relentlessness of this Avalanche team is something. But that's a nice play by Chabot in the neutral zone. There we go. It's a couple shifts in, but Tkachuk looks much more engaged than he was last night. So that's a good sign. Right in front of the net there. I think that was a nice tip by the captain. Going hard on Makar. That's a good shift from Brady. There was none of that last night. None of that. It was so peculiar. It was so strange last night. And I think when I was talking about being wrapped up in the first watch party and how excited I was, I really didn't catch a lot of that. And then sitting down after and watching some of the goals back, it was puzzling, some of the plays that were happening. So happy that he seems to have a bit of step here in the first few shifts, obviously. Look at Timmy behind the net playing quarterback here. Not liking the setup, obviously, that the Sens have going. Is Batherson with it in the offensive zone behind the net? Oh, bad pass to Matt and Paolo. And it's a 3-on-1 here. Nice stop by Merilainen. All right. That's all it takes for Levy. That's a good start for Levy Merilainen in the first 5 minutes here. That's a great save. Just like a sloppy turnover in the offensive zone, though. I think Sanderson played that so well. I know that it's everything he does. Everything he does. Took away the pass, give the shooter to the goalie. Which at this point, with the goaltending for the Senators, like you can give the guys the benefit of the doubt if they're not defending to give the goalie the shooter just based on everything going in lately. But that's a really nice save by Merilainen. I will say, if those are the chances the Sens are giving up, this is going to be a long night. Is that Sens legend Parker Kelly on the forecheck there at number 17 for the Avalanche? I think it is. He might not be number 17, but anyway, good for Parker Kelly, man. Carving out a role on a team like this. I always liked him when he was in Ottawa. Just never really got traction. It's hard for those fourth line guys, I think, to stand out when they're on a bad team. You know, like the role you play, you're obviously not going to play much if you're always down and stuff like that. But I always loved Parker Kelly. All right, now we got the fourth line out against McKinnon and Makar after an icing. Let's see how this goes. I think it's Zub and Matt and Palo, middle of a change. Nate just almost scored. McKinnon's hounding it. This is crazy. Makar just flooded one in. I think Levi Merlainen is going to be a busy goalie tonight, folks. Another icing. This team is... And in talking about the Avalanche, though, this team's crazy. This team is crazy. I think leading up to this, you know, most people would have considered this a scheduled loss, whether you like that term or not. I think that's probably what people would say, even a month ago when they were playing well. Just the back-to-back scenario in it, makes it so difficult. And the way the Avs are rolling, even now coming off some adversity that they're facing for the first time, like they're going to be a motivated group. But all right, that's a good exit. All right. Up to Zetterlund, and now get the big boys out. Like they survived. If they could do a bit of that and just kind of lean on Levy tonight, it's going to be up to Merlainen. It'll be all up to Merlainen because the speed this Avalanche team has is just remarkable. They like the way they're flying around, man. Some of them is just crazy. They can all just wheel like no one's business. And I'd say the Sens are a relatively slow team compared to others, and this is probably the fastest team in the league. All right, first commercial break. I still don't like that Clevin had to fight for that. It's ridiculous, and that should have been a power play for the Sens, but we move on. Onward and upward. All right. Gonna try and just tweet out this link a little bit quickly. I think we might have Martian coming in here in the intermission again for another Intermartian. And we're going to get Ross at some point as well. They will be bringing you the postcast tonight. But we are going to work out when they come in and when they don't. It might be a bit more of just the kid today, just me. And for better or for worse, we'll see. Yeah, this Makar and McKinnon are such a problem. What a block by Sanderson. Lay the body there, Brady. Nice. Good forecheck. Starts by the captain there, man. Like it's little simple things. And I know they don't end up with the puck there, but they made the Avalanche kind of go back and forth a little bit. I'm talking about the time just right before the 13-minute mark there with Tkachuk on the forecheck. With no help with him, really. Like just his speed and hounding the puck forces Colorado to kind of take a bit more time. And then the Sens are right back in the offensive zone right now, forechecking. So it's little things like that when they aren't playing well and the game isn't there, they really struggle. And it all really boils down to effort. That's really all it is, for plays like that. Oh boy. The speed of these forwards on the Avs, I'm blown away already. It's 5-10 minutes in. Not good. I think Batherson, Cousins, and Perron is a line I'd be worried about against the Avalanche, just speed-wise. They're obviously a heavier line. I mean, we'll see, folks. Obviously, like before the game unfolds here, like you never know. But it might be one of those games where I sound like I'm just harping on, or not harping, but just complimenting little things like a forecheck from the captain. But sometimes when your back's against the wall and you're in a rut and you're not playing well, you need to think of those little things so you can feel good about your game and kind of build off of it. I know that sounds silly, but it's Makar with a chance. 8 for 8 so far for Carolina, and I mean, can't ask for much more. And I'm stunned they're starting him. I really am. The Avs are just having their way with them in the offensive zone, though. Just dominant. It's a good play by Nick Cousins on Makar. Oh, look at Sanderson. He's so good. Something cool about the Avalanche, like the Natchez Rantanen whole situation last year. It's just amazing that they added a guy in Natchez who clearly, like on paper, if you had to pick a player, you're picking Mikko Rantanen. But Natchez, I feel like fits Colorado and fits McKinnon's style way better than Rantanen ever did. And clearly it's working because they're just on absolute fire this year. But yeah, it's just quickly just watching them here. It's the first time Sens have seen them. First time I've sat down to watch them. Like the speed those two have together is remarkable. Got producer Ross reminding everyone, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. That goes a long way for us. Obviously appreciate it if you can. Takes 2 quick seconds to click that for us. Like, subscribe, and follow to the Locked On Senators YouTube page. These streams are YouTube exclusive. Only getting them here, right here where everyone's watching. Just works out that way for everyone. That's offside? What? Are we sure? Look at McKinnon go. Sanderson, good defense on him. I've said Sanderson's name 10 times already. He's all over it. Look at him. Just missed Brady with a pass there. That was a tough spot. Icing against the Sens. And there was a goal. All right. Couple icings for the Sens. I mean, I don't know if that icing was a bad pass by Sanderson to Tkachuk or if Tkachuk just didn't get a stick on it, but that's the two best players on the team not connecting and creating an icing, and it's in the back of the net. So that's a tough start. Timmy gets cleaned on the draw, and it just goes right in, I think. Yeah, straight in the net, right off Levy and in. I mean, these are the ones that just break you. Like Levy's got to have that. It didn't hit anything. That's a floater from the point. I mean, he has to have that. Unless it hits something and I missed that. But they have iced it a lot. But again, like, let's talk goaltending. If you're so comfortable in your goaltending depth in the organization, why is Levy starting back-to-back games in this situation? Why did he play yesterday? If it bounced off someone, I have a different reaction, but that quick replay there, that did not look like it bounced. So 1-0 Avalanche on a bad icing from the top players on the team. And Jack is sitting here wondering why he said he wanted to do a stream again. I'm kidding. They are fun. Did it tip? If Manson scored, I don't think that's a tip. That looked like it went right into me. I think that went straight into the net. But yeah, like, goaltending's gonna be a conversation. Goaltending's a conversation because he had a great start, great saves at the start, and that's okay. But letting in goals like that is unacceptable at the NHL level. So I don't know what you do unless, again, I keep saying, if it went off Zub, if it went off whatever, that's a different story. But quick look on the replay, that's a floater from the point that was looking for a tip and just beat him. So, that's a tough one. Like, especially on ones like that, because you ice it. Yes, that icings happen, and icings are a result of your team not playing well, XYZ, whatever you want to say. But when it's that quick off of a faceoffs get lost all the time, and it's hard sometimes to go right into coverage. You expect your goalie to make a save there. There was not enough of a screen. And it's goals like that in a game like this on a back-to-back where you sit here and question why you're starting Marilainen in back-to-back games and just leaving him out to dry like that, because it's clearly a guy who's not confident in his abilities right now. And we're sitting here talking about the same game. That is now 8 straight games, I believe. 8 straight games that the Ottawa Senators have given up the first goal. 8 straight games, the first goal against. Hard to win when you're always playing from behind, and the Sens have proven that they aren't able to. 3,225 days since the last win in Denver, March 11th, 2017. We have a new boogeyman. It was Vegas. They beat Vegas this year. Now it's Denver, and they're behind the 8 ball already. I believe the Colorado game was DJ Smith's last in Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken, 2 seasons ago. It was either Colorado or or Arizona, maybe. I think it was Colorado. But yeah, that's just a tough start just all around. Everything that's wrong with this season, once again. Every time they play the Avalanche, I'm just thankful they don't have to play them more than once a year, or more than twice a year, I should say. Because even last season, the Avs came into Ottawa in March when the Sens were rolling and just steamrolled them. Like, it wasn't even close. It was such an uncharacteristic game. I'll remember because I was in Nashville on a trip when it happened, and just kept getting the notifications like 4-0 in the first period, and it was on home ice, and it was really shocking. I think it was a couple games after they got Cousins and Zetterlund. Like, it was a pretty shocking result that at that point in the season when they were playing their best hockey, but the matchup is terrible. So, like, everything points to this game being not great, unless they can change our thinking here. Puck sitting there in the crease. Clevin showing some urgency there. Just scrolling the out-of-town scoreboard right now, just because we're getting to that point where we need to start worrying about everyone getting points. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other Atlantic Division teams playing tonight. 4 of them are leading in the third period, and 1 of them's tied. So I don't want to say they're not making playoffs line. But this last little stretch here is making me feel like there's a good chance for Giroux. Kachuk's been more engaged. That's good. That's all we needed. I've seen enough in a good way from Seven tonight. He's obviously bounced back pretty well, I'd say, even though he missed the pass on the icing. But they're watching it slip away. They're watching it slip away. I don't know what happened to the goal to Wedgwood there, but I'm assuming Tkachuk was involved just based on where he is on the ice. Colorado here is just matching their top line every time the Sens have their big boys out, and it's working. Yeah, I know Brent Burns just turned it over there, but I think he's a great addition to this team. Look at Amadio go. Oh. There's just a burgundy sweater everywhere in front of the net there. On that play from Mr. Amadio. End of a shift here for Greg. All right, there's an icing. When you force icings, it's good, obviously. That's what you want. And that's a sign of a team that's starting to hum. This Avalanche spread of seasons is unbelievable. 5-1-4, 9-0-1, 10-0-0. Like they're just so good. But again, folks, this could just be a run-of-the-mill regulation loss like we keep seeing from the Sens, but it's about finding silver linings, I think, and it's not even about moral victories. I'm looking for certain guys, like I mentioned, the captain. I'm looking for certain things from certain players tonight in a game like this. That's kind of what I'm going for right now until the Sens start to push a little bit. It has been better since Colorado scored. They're not carrying the play. But the Sens have had a bit more of the puck. But again, the starts are just unacceptable lately. It's 8 straight games allowing the first goal. Showing Devon Tays' injury. That's not good for Team Canada. That's not good for Team Canada. And Landeskog's too. When I saw that clip, I thought it was his leg. If it was his knee again, that would have been really brutal. Good shot by Sanderson. The one I mentioned it right off the top. The one thing I don't like about these lines is Zetterlund on the fourth line at all. I don't like that at all. He's been one of their top forwards production wise. I think you need to throw him up there. Kind of what we expected, I think, to start this one. Was up late last night. This is Team Canada related after watching Devon Tays there in his injury. I saw Celebrini last night. I don't know if anyone caught that. If you didn't, check out his highlights against the Kings last night. It was ridiculous. And you go on the league scoring leaders, and it's McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini. can literally be Canada's first line at the tournament. It's unbelievable. You can just put the top 3 scorers in the league on one line together. Even if you want to load up and win it at the end of the game or need a goal, whatever it is, kind of crazy. Anyway, I was seeing that. Most career points: Sens versus Quebec/Colorado. Brady Tkachuk with 15, tied with Alfie. Trails only Alexei Yashin. Point tonight for the captain would pass the other captain. That'd be kind of neat. I'm going to keep harping on it because he's taken some heat the last 24 hours. Brady Tkachuk has, and myself included. I wrote an article for the Hockey News about what's going on with him, just kind of contextualizing his stretch. I'll do a little shameless plug for myself there, because it's been crazy. They're 8-10-1 since he came back, and you think about the vibes in November when they were winning without him. They went 11-5-4 without Brady, and we're sitting top 3 in the Atlantic, and they're now dead last, 8-10-1, which isn't typically, I think, a stretch that would drop you that far in the standings, but just with how tight everything is, it just happened like that, right? So just diving into that, and I think he had a terrible game last night. So just the frustration with Brady had never reached a boiling point like this for me. So I think just pointing out when he looks like himself, and he looks a bit more like himself in this game tonight, in my opinion, so far, which is obviously a positive and good to see. Another guy we need to see a lot more from is Shane Pinto. Obviously still working back from injury, which is such a factor, but that hit the post, it looked like, from the Avalanche. But yeah, Pinto on the ice here, like he's got to find something, because he was so good before his injury. And they need him to get back to that level, I think. And he hasn't really, offensively at least, he just hasn't really generated enough for my liking. One thing I'm terrified of when it happens is the Avalanche power play. That's going to be something to see. Look at Lars Eller transporting the puck here. Deflected out anyway, but this has been a better period after they scored. And stop me if you heard that before. I said the same thing after it was 2-0 Utah yesterday. The starts are unacceptable. That play on the post, that replay that just played, if anyone just caught that replay, is exactly my issue with Maryland this season. He just doesn't look like he's got his net, and I find last season and just this year in general, comparing him with Olmark, I find in general he's better at tracking the puck. He's a bit more athletic. So it's not even a puck tracking issue. It's just a placement in his net that he didn't know where he was almost. He didn't know where the puck was, and then it hits the post, and he's almost like surprised at what happened. It's incredible how important goaltending is for a team, and how the Sens are away from the pack, but not that far away, even though it feels like the sky is falling. If they just get a little bit better goaltending, they would improve. But starting the guy who struggled so much back-to-back games is just proof that they don't quite know the answer either. And it's troubling, because I think Maryland just lost his confidence after that first goal. And I know people, we've got a huge, not a huge, but here's Ridley Gregg. Someone shoot the puck. Oh my God. Way too cute with it. Way too cute. And here's Natchez to McKinnon. That just missed the net from McCarr. I mean, these guys in transition are ridiculous. There's McKinnon again, scores. This game is going to be a blowout. This is going to be a blowout. Did I even add this at any point? I don't think I did. Time to change it. Folks, this is going to get dark. This is going to get ugly very quickly. Like nothing's good enough. It's a free shot in the slot for one of the best player in the league, one of the best players. And also this Avalanche team is unbelievable. We need to preface that, but the Sens have not played well lately, so they don't deserve the benefit of, oh, this is a tough game, tough travel. Like this, I can't believe they're starting Merlainen. I can't believe he's starting this game, and it's costing them right now. Here's Stützle. Just had his 13-game point streak snapped last game. "36 goals for McKinnon? Are you kidding me? It's January. 36 goals? Is that twice as many as Stützle, who leads the team? Almost. Timmy has 19. That's crazy. 36 goals is unbelievable. He might get 5 tonight, to be honest, if he wants it. I have no doubt he could if he wanted to. Also, 11 shots for the Sens feels a bit generous in my. I don't know if that's just me or not, but yeah, I'm just looking at the comment. This is gonna be a big comment stream, so we're gonna get in the chat for this one because this could get ugly fast. Yeah, like Brule, I hope I'm saying that correctly. He was left alone on the slot. Like that's one of those things. But there is a point. Need a save, right? And that's the book on Merlainen right now. And if that's to make it 1-0, that's a whole other thing. But it's the second goal he's let in on 10 shots now, right? And that just can't happen, man. It's an 800 save percentage, just like that. And the Sens are going to the power play here, but that's just the issue. And I'm not a goalie guy. I never played goalie. I'm big on just stop the puck. But for a player and a goalie that came in and really saved the season last year when things could have gone south, it's been the complete opposite for Merlainen. He's doing the opposite of that this season. So he just hasn't been able to solidify their crease in a time of need. And it's a whole bigger issue that we'll get into tonight because it could be a long stream. And I see our viewers are going up as the score gets worse. So obviously we've got probably some hate watches, but also mainly Sens fans in here. This is a safe space for us. Don't worry. It'd be great if this is a game if the power play just goes crazy. That'd be cool. Instead, I fear the opposite might happen to Shorty, but we will see. I don't know what it is. Oh, it looks like Cousins got taken off that top unit and they moved Pinto up there. That's notable. That's got to be the first change that top unit's had in quite some time. And I got to say, I like it. Another guy, though, that I think could probably bump down is a guy who runs that unit a lot is Drake Batherson. That puck just blew up on his stick. They have full possession, and then they lose it because he couldn't handle a pass. So there's a nice shot. Nice look by Brady. Like, again, it's just normal passes blowing up on their sticks on the power play. Body language is starting to get bad from important guys. Timmy's frustrated. All right, 2-0. Let's see. Maybe they keep it to 2 goals a period or something like that. Try and see if I can get one of the boys to jump in with me here. Get their thoughts on an opening 20. That opening 20. I can't believe 36 goals for Nathan McKinnon. That's unbelievable. Let's see what the chat's thinking. What are we thinking about that period, everyone? At least it's not 4-0 from Eric. That's yeah, It's a me, Eric. Just scrolling through the chat here. Yeah, I'll talk about this all night if I need to. Starting Levy just is so puzzling, man. Like I think it's a panic move from Travis Green, if I'm being honest. Like if he got a shutout last night or let in 1 goal or 2 goals or something like that, but he had a terrible start last night too. And I know that it wasn't all his fault, those goals against Utah. It was just bad defensive coverage in their own zone, but he didn't have a confident start. He let in 2 goals on 4 shots. And he has a good start in this one, goes 8 for 8. But that's the bar's on the floor for that. If you're talking about Maryline and what you need to see at an NHL starting level for a goalie. And, he made some nice saves in it. Don't get me wrong. And then he lets in a soft one on Manson that can't go in the net. I'm hoping they show it in the intermission again because I don't think that tipped off anything, guys. And I think that was straight in a floater from the point that just cannot go in the NHL. And that's why the Sens are the worst goaltending in the league because it goes in every night. This is another great question. This power play, I've been harping on this for a bit. I think that the rank in the NHL is more of a product of the second unit producing at a higher level than most second units do in the NHL. I don't know how to dive into that. I got to find out. But I looked at their power play stats since Tkachuk came back just to see what the production was like. And like guys like Giroux, Perron, Zetterlund have a handful of power play points each, which obviously points to the second unit being good and chipping in when they can. And like, the top unit obviously has their moments, but they score in bunches. And I think they just put up a graphic that they're 2 for 14 or 3 for 14 or something like that. And that's not going to cut it. And I find they're just snapping it around to snap it around. And it's too easy for the PK. And then in turn for a team with a terrible penalty kill, like the Ottawa Senators have, to not be able to expose or get in on another team's penalty kill and expose some of its flaws. It's frustrating. And I think moving Cousins off that top unit is a start. And we're seeing kind of some frustration for Travis Green and the coaching staff in that regard. So remember when I was saying all the teams in the Atlantic Division, there were 5 playing, or 6 or something like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 other ones were in action tonight. All 5 of them got 2 points each. All 5 Atlantic Division teams won tonight. Might just not be the Sens year, folks. This might just be a wrap of a season. That might be doom and gloom to say, but I did not think we were going to be here a month ago. I thought they had some time to figure it out, but things have just gone south. And no first round pick, which we keep forgetting. But again, I'm all on board with the thought about the first round pick. That thing wasn't going to help you for another 3 years best. Obviously, they need to improve their prospect pool, and that's the best way to do it. But picking in the first round would have been little solace to this season, or little comfort for this season slipping away. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster going on right now in Ottawa. I keep forgetting the Panthers were playing the Habs. That's my bad. So of the 6 teams that were playing, 5 of them won, and that's my bad. Forgot the Panthers were playing the Habs. That's a little bit of oversight for me. Sens next opponent on Saturday. I will say I would like to keep doing these. There will be some times, depending how well the Chicago Bears do, that I am unable to watch the Sens, and Saturday is going to be one of those nights. Go Bears against the Packers. That's going to be my Saturday night. I won't be watching the Sens and Panthers, or at least the end of the game. Showing McKinnon's goal. Did they show the Manson one? Did I miss that already? I think I missed it. It's okay. It's the fact too, and I know someone's mentioning it. I don't know if it's a Sens fan in the chat mentioning it. I like this. I like this, Nick. Respect that. Go Bears. I know this is a Red Wings fan, but I'm gonna put it up just for not this one. I'm gonna put this up. It's a Red Wings fan, but he's being respectful. So Wingdings 08. Obviously they just had a win here, but they need a new coach bump to get back in the hunt. I just want to bring this up just to see what people are thinking about it. I know that there's some issues with Travis Green in terms of lineup, and obviously starting Marilyn tonight is a huge red flag for me. A lot of this though, man, I don't know what you blame coaching on. And they gave him a 4-year deal. He's in year 2 of that. I'd be stunned if they let go of him mid-season, even though it would give them some kind of a bump. But that's my take. I don't know what people think. I know that it's easy to fire the coach. It's easy to look at that. I'd just be stunned if this organization turned on Travis Green that quickly after what's happened to them defensively for the most part. They've had a complete 180 from the team that Jacques Martin had to basically drill into to make them care about defense again. That's just me. But what does everyone think about Travis Green? Coach is usually the first on the hot seat, but it seems to me, honestly, that the GM has taken a bit more heat than the coach as of late, just for some of the issues in the goaltending depth and the lack of scoring at times. Obviously now they're 1 goal in their last 4 periods. Not going to cut it. Not great. I'm just curious. What are people saying? His lineup's not good. Green is fine. Team needs radical change. Not completely fed up with Green yet. Yeah, like I think I'm in that boat too. I think I'm in the Travis Green is not the problem. Because again, like you look at any team with bad goaltending, makes the coach look bad every time. That being said, he contributed to the team's bad goaltending tonight. As little as a coach has an impact in the crease, he impacted it tonight by starting Marilyn. Unbelievable that they did that. If that was the plan, why did you call Shepard up and then bring him down and then call Sogard up for this trip at all? Belleville needs wins too, folks, and Sogard's a good goalie. So really puzzling, really, really puzzling. They have no options in net. They have nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't blame it all on goaltending here, Cerebrum. Olmark's numbers are bad, but Marilinen's are much worse. Much, much, much worse. I'm actually going to pull it up right now. Not for the stream, but I'll just do it for myself here for some quick context. I hope I don't crash the stream if I have too many tabs open. Let me just look at the Senators, NHL.com. Yeah, so Olmark has an 881, which is abysmal for a goalie of his stature, and that's in 28 games, so it's a bigger sample. But Marilyn started 15 games now. This is game 16 for him, and he has an 868 save percentage. So he's worse, much worse than Olmark has been. His goals against average is 3.47. Olmark's is 2.9. His record is 6-8. Olmark's 14-8-5. So Olmark's record is actually kind of nice considering his numbers. They found a way to win the games. But Marilynen's numbers are just significantly worse than Olmark's, which makes this whole situation so much worse. If we had 895, I agree. All Dressed Bagel. It's a good name. They're showing this video. I don't know if everyone's got the intermission on right now, but this video of Timmy behind the scenes in Ottawa, NHL YouTube page. It's like an 11, 12-minute video. It was great. I loved it. Kind of followed him around on a day-to-day, talked to his parents a little bit, and it's pretty just standard, I think. The boys go out to dinner and then go shopping at the Rideau Center. But it shows off the city a little bit in the middle of November, which is not a pretty time. So I like that a lot for Ottawa. And it follows him during the game. One of the games against the Bruins where he scored late and got the empty netter in November during the good times. Who would have thought that November was going to be the good times this season and then the rest was just going to be terrible? No one would have known that. Yeah, I get that. I get that too. Wish we had a timeline on Linus. Look, I mean, it's hard. And I genuinely don't think the team does either. So that makes it more difficult. But again, even if you did, he has not been playing well either. So yeah. Yep. That's so funny. Is Korpisalo actually an 882? Let me check that. That's ridiculous. That's cruel poetic justice. Yeah, he does. 882. Unbelievable. If you really want to hurt yourself, let's look at Anton Forsberg's save percentage on the LA Kings this season. The guy who they let go. Just a 901. 901 for Anton Forsberg, which was probably exactly what he had last season, which was bad for Senators goalies last season. Oof. I gotta do the math on that, Drew, just to check, but I believe it. I believe it. It should also be noted, I don't know if it's completely league wide, but I mentioned they're been a bit stingier in general with shots on goal. So I feel like save percentages are just down in general, but if it's around the league and it's happening to everyone, then it doesn't matter, right? It's your league rank is your league rank. Yeah, just really, it's a polarizing issue, but they're getting in their own way with it, right? They're not doing enough to address it, and I think at this point it's so far gone that they missed the boat. It feels like, it's unfortunate. It's watching the season collapse here. It like, obviously hindsight, it keeping Forsey would have made sense, but maybe, I mean, I think it was reported that they weren't going to try, but I think he had a couple year deal from LA. Like, I don't think the Sens were ready to do that. And honestly, like, the sample on Levy was small, but he was so much better than Forsberg last season that you couldn't bring Forsberg back, even though he did kind of figure it out towards the end of the year. But there was a part of the season last year where he was costing them games. But obviously now you look at it and you kind of miss Anton Forsberg games because he still did give you 40 save performances every now and then. And they just don't get that this season. So it's tough. It's tough. Obviously, yeah, the elephant in the room, though, is just Ullmark and your starting goalie not being good enough this season. So it starts there, and then it trickles down to Marilainen, who's just been taking such a big step back. I know it might sound crazy to say season's collapsing, but they're going to be – it's 4 points, but there's also 6 other teams to jump. And I just – at this point last year, they were in the mix. I think they were right around a playoff spot, a point out, point in. They need to get hot now, and they need a lot of help. And that's two things that in such a competitive division and a competitive conference, you can't bank on. I'd say before Christmas, the top of the Atlantic still felt in reach a little bit. But Detroit, Montreal, Tampa are starting to pull away from everyone else a little bit more. So you're kind of looking at the wild card, and then you get all the Metro teams in the mix, and they're in the exact same boat. The bottom of the Metro is just as tight as the bottom of the Atlantic, and there's just too many teams to jump for it to feel like it's realistic, is kind of my point. Now, all of this being said, this is such a product of how competitive the East is. If they were in the Western Conference, they'd be 1 point out of a playoff spot right now. And would have been in one earlier this week, So context matters, but they're not in the West. They're in the East. So they're failing to compete with their peers right now, which is why it's frustrating, right? But the bottom of the West is just not good, and they would be right in the mix. So you can maybe hang your hat on that. Like, I think points-wise, they're right where they were last season, technically, or record-wise, it's close. And there's still tons of hockey left here, folks, like so much, but you keep talking about these issues like the goaltending, and they're getting in their own way. of not trying to fix it, they're not going to do well, and they're not going to turn things around. They can't just wait for Levy to figure it out, in my opinion. Like here's something that's also crazy to say. The sample size of Maryland last season and how well he played in that sample and his 8-3-1 record, 3 shutouts, his great save percentage, that's a smaller sample size now than what we've seen this season. And that's kind of scary because now it's a bit of a mixed bag on what this kid's going to be in the NHL. So that's a bit frightening. And that actually happened the other day. Like, he passed his season total for starts that he had last season. No, and this is the last thing. This is the last thing you do with Maryland, in my opinion. Absolutely the last thing. You get him down to Belleville, in my opinion, before it's too late here, because the history of trading goaltenders in this organization has to be among the league worst. I'm loving the chat here. It's obviously dire times a little bit. Somehow the shots were 11-11 in that period. Somehow, some way. Let me just switch this to second period. There we go. Tkachuk had 3 shots in the first period there, according to TSN. Levy back in the net. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. The SL word, bit of a scheduled loss maybe, but I'm happy people are having a good time. That's all that matters. And I really like doing this. I know it's crazy during bad games like this, but just if we can get some traction and I can get a bit better at kind of working with the chat here. I'm doing a lot more of that today than I was yesterday. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully we get some winning hockey down the stretch. Like the very least for the Senators, they can't just keel over this season. Like that's not an option with no first round pick. So if they can at least get themselves in the conversation before the Olympic break, at least we can have something in February to kind of be excited about for the rest of the season. But there's so much hockey in such a tight amount of time. Like, the Olympic break is, I think, just a month away now. But they're playing, I think, like 15 more games before that. So it's a lot of hockey, and a lot can happen, man. Like, they could get hot and then all of a sudden we're having a different conversation, or it could get even worse. So let's just hope that they can kind of gain some traction and figure things out after this road trip. Because this has been a gauntlet on the schedule for a while. That's got to be a penalty on Colorado here. Brief 5-on-3 here for the Sens. Tkachuk just drew one. Brady's been playing a lot better today. He's been so much better. Very encouraging. Manson's not happy about that. That's a makeup for no instigator. Obviously a joke, but pointed it out yesterday. Little Christmas gift for my girlfriend. This thing is, I think, 1,200 milliliters. So big. So much water. 14 seconds of a 5-on-3 here. So they need to win the draw and get a shot. But that's what this power play has struggled to do, is get shots on goal and good looks. Got Giroux out there on the top unit now. Okay. I wonder if that's just for the 5-on-3 or if that's a full change they want to make. Okay, they lost the draw. So this will just be a normal, like, Makar's speed there is unbelievable. Speeding Batherson to that. I mean, Batherson was backing up, thinking that something was going to break the wrong way there, but I'd shoot that. Like, get it on net there. You got a screen in front. I think we're watching, like, Sanderson obviously is such a, okay, here's Pinto. It was just out there and he lost the puck on the blue line. Oh my goodness. Of all the things to hit a bit of a snag, the power play not coming through is just the cherry on top. And a giveaway from Timmy there, and body language is bad again. I point out body language like it's the boogeyman because these guys are and here's a giveaway, and the Avs are coming in shorthanded. Good play from Cousins there. All right. Now here he goes. He got a 3-on-1. Good stick by the Avs defense, and it's down the ice. I point out body language because I think that's something with Stützle we just see when he gets frustrated. But I'm starting to see it on other guys too when bad things are happening now, and that's a red flag. Huge red flag. And not that Timmy's absolved from it. I don't like it when he does it either. But I'm just used to him doing it. When you see it from guys you're not used to seeing it from, that's when you start to question what's going on here and really see some frustration coming through. Like everything's just so easy for the PK against them right now. It's a couple pitch and catch up top, little, little deception, and then game, and then a weak shot, and then it's an easy stop. Oh, Makar just ripped one from the boards. I don't have any words. I don't have any words. Let's watch that. Did Makar score that, or did Natchez? Backdoor. No, that went right in. Right in the net. Starting, and there goes Sogard in that. This is unbelievable. They're pulling Levi Marilainen now. What a joke. What an absolute joke. That's crazy. That's crazy. How can you, I mean, like obviously it's the right call to pull him, but he shouldn't have been starting. He should not have been starting. Just crazy. If you wanted him tonight, why did he start yesterday? Like goalies do not play back-to-backs. I don't know. I'm so against that, especially in these days with so much hockey that they're playing and how much Levy's played lately. And how poorly he's played. Like every single check mark or every single box had been checked for him to not be playing. And he was terrible tonight. Again. Like we're sitting here now and they're ruining their best goaltending prospect too. Like that's a bigger picture thing. Let's just dive into it. Like this game's over. This game's over. And it's goaltending. I think the Sens have been decent. They haven't given up breakaways and 2-on-1s left, right, and center. Their defensive structure has been okay. It hasn't been perfect, but it had to be perfect. It had to be perfect every night from the last month and a half and all season because their goaltending has been atrocious. Unreal. They're a step behind this team. And like, this isn't like a look in the mirror. You're trying to compete with these guys. But when Steve Stais says we'll contend when we're ready to contend, they're playing against the contender right now, but they're not even making them work for it. They're giving them the puck. There's a montage here of all their giveaways with the puck. It's just lazy. And then the goals going in are have to be saved. Every single one, you can argue, should be saved. They haven't been high danger chances. Maybe McKinnon's, but like there's two parts of this. There's a part where you're sitting there saying, getting mad at the team for starting Marilainen and putting him in this position, whatever it may be. But then the other part is also Marilainen himself. Like he has completely underwhelmed this season. More than that, he's taken an even further step back. He was so elite last year in his sample of being up here and helped this team make the playoffs. And I said it earlier, he's been the opposite of that this season. He's actually hurting them more than he's helping. And that's on the player at some point too. You got to figure it out. You showed you can do that at this level last season with the exact same team, same coaching staff, same systems, and he hasn't done it. And it's costing them. The handling of the goaltending seemed fixed last season, and all of a sudden it's worse than it's ever been. In Ottawa, there are no options on the way unless this Lucas Beckman kid is the answer. Whenever he comes up in 2030, I don't know. He'll play at LeBreton. There's a good save from Sogard. Wasn't high danger. I'm so furious. I'm so furious he didn't start that game. Makes absolutely no sense. I haven't even checked the chat. I've just been ranting here. I'm going to need wing dings to get out of here. I appreciate the politeness, though. Thank you. I'm not just blaming Levy. Olmark's not here right now. So I think until there's some clarity, or if there will ever be clarity, or until he's back, it doesn't feel fair to lay this all on Olmark when he's not here. I said it a couple days ago, but this is effectively the same as an injury, right? In that case, you'd have a timeline, or a more clear idea of how long it would be or whatever it is. But look at that defense from Sanderson on McKinnon. That's unreal. Did Pinto just score? Nope. No, he didn't. Oh, it's in. Pinto. Yeah, it's right in the net. What a shot. What a shot. And that's Jake Sanderson defense. Watch this replay, everyone. If you want to know how to play defense, watch Jake Sanderson here on Nathan McKinnon. Unbelievable. Sorry, just to get back on Levy. I'm just blaming Levy in this situation. These past few weeks, he has not been good enough, guys. He's been pulled twice, and he's cost them a few games. And he's let in 3 goals tonight that should not be let in, and it might be being hard on him, but they have the worst goaltending in the NHL. So I'm going to blame the guy that, has terrible numbers. And again, there's 2 parts of it. Like I said, we'll take that off, get a goal on the board for the good guys. That's good for Shane Pinto. He's been a bit snake bitten and hasn't had a ton of offense. And I said he needed to kind of get going here a little bit. So maybe that goes to the legs. Maybe the pull goes to the legs a little bit here. But I guess my whole point here is I'm not going to sit here and say that the team has been playing perfect hockey. But you need a save on at least 2 of the 3 goals that went in tonight from Levy. And he didn't get it. And he got pulled for it. So let's go with a Sogard insanity or Linsanity run. That'd be nice. A little hamburglar. So-burglar, let's call it. Why'd the banner not go up? There we go. 3-1. Yeah, team save percentage is awful. But again, we've talked about Olmark. We have talked about Linus Olmark when he was here. He was not playing well. And until he's back, I don't feel like it's fair to watch what we're seeing on the ice last week and be like it's Olmark's fault. Because Levy's been terrible. So you can blame the team for putting Levy in those positions as well. And that's what I'm doing. I think they deserve a ton of criticism for it, and a ton of criticism for not shoring up the goaltending and not trusting their goaltending depth, which they said they're comfortable with, by starting Sogard tonight. Batherson with a chance. Cousin getting a look. Find it. Oh, that's a nice save by Wedgwood. That's loose. That's still loose. They didn't blow it. It's loose. How does that not go in? How does that not go in? Wow. How did that not go in? Lars Eller just whiffed on one. Oh, that's in. 3-2. 3-2 Sogard insanity run. It's the Mad Sogard game. The Mad Sogard game. Fabian Zetterlund. What a dog. What a dog Fabian Zetterlund is. 3-2. And now all of a sudden, starting Maryland is even more frustrating. But we'll get to that in the intermission if they can keep pushing here. 3-2 hockey game. Let's go. What an effort by Zetterlund. I think Fabian Zetterlund's been awesome. All right, we got a 3-2 hockey game. What are they challenging for? Ising offside. We didn't need that. We didn't need that. If it's offside, it's always right. Should I take down the banner? Just have it ready to edit in case. Bednar's kind of ripping into his team here. It might look like he's maybe using it as a timeout. Were they offside? Let's see. Where's the puck? Oh, yeah. The skates in the, I mean, you can't see the puck. Obviously, the NHL can. Is that what? 4 disallowed goals if this doesn't count? Oh, it's way offside. Way offside. Not even close. All right. 3-1. That's tough. That's tough. Still a good goal. What is that? 4 disallowed goals now for the Sens in the last 3 games or something like that? That's not even close. That's why the offside challenge was brought in. That goal is exactly why the offside challenge was brought in. That was not even close. That's a tough one to have. We're calling him the So Burglar. The So Burglar is what we're going with here. I like that. That was almost close. All right. Giroux and Pinto just get mixed up. Look at Sanderson jumping in. Give it to him. I think Sanderson's been unbelievable tonight. He's been all over the ice. So good. On a back-to-back, like he's just a machine. Might have to play him 40 minutes. It's a good forecheck by Kachuk. Did he draw one again? I'm not going to give him that. Look at Brady on the forecheck. That's what we like to see. Causing some trouble. When he's at his best. And, oh, boy, here we go. 2-on-1. Is that Parker Kelly? Nice stop by Sogard. There we go. He's so big in net. Sogard is. If he can just get the right mechanics down again. I'm going to say it so many times. Drink if you hear me say it. I can't believe they started Maryland tonight. Unreal. Like, the Sens were playing well. Stop me if you heard that before. Frustrating. Got a tweet here from Send Central. Ross, producer Ross. 2 goalie polls in 4 games since the team lamented the fact they have faith in their netminders. Not great. I just like it's mismanagement. It's mismanagement, miscoaching, whatever you want to call it. Because if you put Sogard in one of these games and he gets lit up, you just confirm what you already suspected, right? But now it's even more glaring that Merlainen is not in a spot to play in the NHL. I think he's been terrible. So I don't know. My mic is muted. I don't think it is. I think am I muted? You guys hear me? I think I'm fine over here. I think I'm getting played by someone in the chat. They got me. All right, everyone can hear me. Thank you. That's a good way to get someone who's hosting a stream on their own. Just light up the chat saying that they're muted. Instant panic for me. Instant panic because I don't know what to do, especially if it says I'm not. Big block by DP there in front. No, they got no legs. I think this is kind of where you start to see a back-to-back show. The second half of the game. And this is the line I was worried about. Cousins, Batherson, Perron defensively. I'm just not sure about against this team on the road. All right, there's a good stick. Sogard's so big. He does look, I mean, maybe it's new equipment. He looks a bit, bigger that way, a little bit, maybe a bit more strength, a bit more weight on him this season. It also could just be equipment. But I just noticed that. Ridley Gregg is on a nice run. Oh, it's a good pass to Pinto. Here goes McKinnon. Look at Sanderson again. Unreal. All over McKinnon, man. Jake Sanderson is just so good. The defense, he's defending Nathan McKinnon so well tonight so far. I don't know what might happen in the rest of the game. Half a game left, but if I'm Team USA, I mean, I'm Canadian. The allegiances will flip here in a month, but if I'm Team USA, I'd watch this and just see what's going on out here because what a couple defensive plays that he's made on Nathan McKinnon. I still don't think they're going to come back. I got to be honest, but the pushback's been encouraging since they pulled the goalie, I guess. And here's a 3-on-2 for the Avs. Good play by Shabbat. All right. They just come at you with so much speed. One thing I will give the staff credit for, even though they started the goalie who's just struggling mightily in back-to-back games, I think scratching Jensen was just such an obvious move, but they still did it, and they've been doing it. They've done it a couple times now. So giving them, got to give him credit for that because obviously that's not an easy thing to do, even though he's playing so terribly. But it's tough to to do that. I mean, like, does Sogard not look bigger to people? Like just at least more filled out than he had been. Like he's 6'7", so tall. If he can fill out that frame a little bit, he's a big boy in net, and if he can kind of mix that with good mechanics. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes with coaching decisions and lineup, right? Like there's such a big coaching staff, and obviously Steve Stais had the answer the other day saying wishes we could all see it, how hard they're working, and I'm obviously not doubting that, but I just don't think that was a good a well-timed quote, especially how they played after. Anyway, we don't see what they do behind the scenes, like how they make the decision to start a goalie, let's say, right? You'd imagine they talk to the goalie coach. So whoever ended up making the call, if it was Justin Peters, the Sens goalie coach, recommending to start Merilainen back-to-back, if it was Travis Green saying, nope, we're starting this guy back-to-back, if it was someone else coming in, I don't really know. Oh, man. Sogard's last win, the 13 saves versus LA. I know that they're probably mentioning it in the broadcast. Yeah, this was an 8-7 win for the Sens. He let in 7 goals. I think Forsberg maybe let in some of them, but that was his last win in the NHL. And for his next appearance to be a in relief like this is just not fair, I don't think, for him. Like 37th overall in the 2019 draft. They believed in Sogard. And I think what's most frustrating about Levy this season, and this is, again, more on the organization, he had a terrible training camp. Like, he was not good in exhibition games this season at all. At all. So the signs were there. It was never that's offside. It was never a question of him, having there's something there, he just needs to figure it out, or an injury or something like that. He was just not good in his what's happening here? Is Amadio getting a penalty? For what? What are they calling? For what? Oh, come on. That's such a makeup call. That's a makeup call. And I'm saying makeup call as in I don't know, because all the penalties that the Sens have gotten have been good calls, I think, right? Like they've been penalties. That wasn't a hook or whatever the hell they called it. Just a bad call. And here goes the Avalanche power play. Timmy was off to the races, but he gives it away, and then Zub gives it away. And that's how PKs get scored on. So let's see what happens here. Sanderson, big hit along the wall. Puck doesn't get out from Timmy. Someone down. Lekkonen's down. Something happened there. And Sanderson intercepts it. Up the wall. Did that hit the ref? Broken stick maybe for Sanderson? I'm just curious to watch this power play and see how much differently I feel. Oh, and that goes in. Automatic for this power play. Yep. That's too that's a bad call. That's a bad call in the first place, but bad calls get amplified when your penalty kill stinks. Your best players there had 2 chances to get that puck out and didn't. So, and yeah, shot from the corner. You want Sogard to have that, yes. But yeah, I mean, you want him to have that. Let's be honest. Everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. Why did I decide to do the stream again? I'm kidding. We're having fun. It's cathartic. It's nice to watch with a few hundred other people that are going through similar things. Oh, that went in too? Bad bounce? It's a circus. It's a circus. It's an absolute circus in Ottawa again, folks. Five, 1. Five, 1. Right off Shabbat and in. Yep. I don't know what you say or where you start, to be honest. This is what couldn't happen. This, even though that was kind of what was in the stars, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Just a pathetic display. And maybe it's better in the long run if they get their doors blown off tonight instead of having a moral victory. Like they seem to be kind of leaning towards there when they made it 3-2 and then it gets called back. But I truly think this is better for them. They need to get embarrassed, and maybe they need to get embarrassed more. I don't know. 17 seconds, 2 goals. I wish I had some more words. I wish I did. I really wish I did. I'll find some. I'll be honest. I'm a bit stunned. I'm just a bit stunned that it just keeps happening like this. And you get Timmy mixing it up with someone at center ice. Things are going to get ugly, I think, pretty quick here. Maybe. I don't know. Like you look at the goalies the Avalanche have, and they're a team actually that had struggled for years. The big hit by Brady. Did they call him? What do they call him for? See, I don't mind if Brady takes penalties like that. Last night he had a slashing penalty. I don't mind those. Oh, high stick. I mean, it's kind of lazy. Never mind. I thought it was like a roughing penalty or something. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Never mind. I take that back. Take that back. Hand up. That's a bad penalty. Don't want that. This sucks. This sucks. Maybe this team can tank. Maybe they can get really bad and get our first round pick back. That's a key part of that. What'd they just call? Did Pinto just take a face-off penalty? What? Oh, come on. What? He didn't even touch him. 5-on-3. This might be 7-1. This is going to be a 7-1 hockey game in the second period. It's a minute and 51. I'm terrified right now. We really just decided to do a stream for all the people who hate the Sens to come and watch us watch this. That's really what this is all about. I really feel for a guy like Jake Sanderson, man. He is taken his game to a new level defensively, and some factors around him have turned this into a season to forget really quickly. Yeah, 6-1. Sogard can't get across the crease fast enough. Twice now. Ooh, boy. This is going to turn dark quick. Like I said that at 2-0. So I was writing last night, another shameless plug, just writing about Kachuk. I was just talking about, players go through slow stretches and slow games. They have bad games here and there. And then I had a little line just saying, maybe Nathan McKinnon will have a stinker tomorrow night. Just obviously as like a tongue in cheek, because he probably won't. And I think he has 3 or 4 points already. And it's the second period. I have also found with the Sens, even when they're playing well and doing okay, you think of games against like the Oilers, even the Leafs to an extent in the playoffs. The top players just cook them most of the time, no matter what. Like top players I'm talking about. Just find a way to score. It doesn't have to be big nights every time, but they just find a way to go on the score sheet more often than not against them. And I think a lot of that is just not a sign of a playoff team right now. I think instead of obvious, well, not a thing. I mean, this is just obvious here. Like they're getting dominated, and they're about to drop to 2-5 in their last 7. And they're just taking a step back. It's a step back, as simply possible as put. Really ugly. And it's just disappointing. I think that's a quick way to sum that up. It's just so disappointing because they last season had some ups and downs, but more often than not, it was a positive season, right? They took a lot of strides, won some huge games, new acquisitions were great. It was such a positive season just in the sense of how they responded to a new coach and the new system and defensive hockey. And for a while there, in November in particular this season, they looked primed to take another step forward, right? They looked like they were ready to be one of the next top teams in the Atlantic. And instead we're sitting here and the Red Wings have another one. Oh my God. Maybe that's why they didn't start Sogard. Holy. Okay. Turns out Mad Sogard also not good. Shocking development for the Senators goaltending situation. That's 2 goals for Josh Manson. And we get 185 people. We keep going up here as the Sens keep getting dominated. So welcome everyone to the second ever Sens live watch party, which is hopefully they're not all like this. But as always, and it's a tough time for the GCP ad, but I'm going to do it. It's brought to you by the GCP. The Glebe Central Pub has shuttles to every single Sens game. Canadian Tire Center. There's no better way to get out there than taking one of these shuttles. I can tell you firsthand. And the best part is leaving the games because it's the best way to get there easily there and back. So check out the GCP, Bank Street. It's a great vibe. Vibes are free there. And that was a really disappointing time to do an ad read, and I just had forgotten to kind of give them a little mention there. But welcome to the live watch party here. We're watching the downfall of the Ottawa Senators. There's no other way to put it. This is an absolute beatdown. This is exactly what we thought this game was going to be, but we're still watching it, and it's still shocking somehow to me. I don't know why. Like, it's 7 goals against on 27 shots. They've let in 5 goals in the second period. And they keep coming, the Avalanche. They keep coming. That's another one. 8-1. 8-1. What? If you guys think I'm going anywhere for the third period, you're nuts. We're taking this to the house. Eight one. Like, what? That's 3 like side to side on Sogard. I'll find some words. I will find some words. Just got to collect myself. We can't say any swear words, and I won't. That's why I'm kind of like just keeping it to myself a little bit here. Hey, at least, next game's back at home. I wonder who it is. Oh, it's a pissed off defending Stanley Cup champions team. Oh, okay. That's lost 2 in a row, just like the Avalanche just did. Okay. All right. Matthew Tkachuk might come back. Okay. All right. That sounds cool. That sounds good. Who else did they play late in January? Oh, the Hurricanes, the Golden Knights, and then this team again. Okay. My mic's not muted. I promise. Do you guys know what you would say in my shoes here after 8-1? 8-1. 8-1 in the second period. But it's also it's just so unfair to Sogard in the sense like he doesn't look good. He's been beat down, just exposed cross crease on all of them for such a big goalie. Those are tough goals to give up. But I would say those are ones that the Sens can defend a bit better, but also being thrown into this situation, he's cold. It's so hard for a goalie to come in there and look there. I hate faceoffs with a second left. Like they're not doing anything. Yeah, I promise I'm not going anywhere. We will do a Jack wellness check. I would love to be a fly on the wall. No first round draft pick. Yep. I didn't mean to put that one up, but we will. 200 people. We are climbing. 8-1 score really gets people talking. All right. I will obviously be staying here for the intermission. We are going to hash this out together, Sens fans. We're going to talk this through. I don't know if any of the boys are going to hop on here. This might just be another little self-therapy session for myself here. I am getting texts from people I don't talk to a lot about the Sens every day. And that's how you know it's bad. It's either for good things or bad things. And I'm just going to put out a little tweet for people to come join and come commiserate with us and be in misery. And then we will get to breaking down where to go from here. And it won't be nice. That's probably the best way to put it. Wow, 239. We're buzzing now. This is why it's fun. I don't know if it's mostly Sens fans coming in. I hope it is, but it's probably just everything, just people watching, because this is tragic. This is tragedy going on right now for the Ottawa Senators. And I'm gonna just get some people here, more tweets out. Okay, folks. What now? What now? Sat here at the beginning of the game saying they, just show something, give us something. This is like a dead dog just getting put down. That's just the best way to put it. And it's all, and we've got some other perspective here to get to, thankfully, because I'm out of words. We were just adding Ross and co-host of the Locked On Senators podcast to the second ever live watch party, Ross. And we thought it was going to be bad. We sure did. But you got any thoughts you want to share for the people on maybe what you could expect for LOSP postcast and the show Ross in the darkness here?
Yeah, you know what? I just want to see a bit of emotion in the third period. These guys are just going. They've quit, right? Like, there's no way around it. This group's quit.
They've quit.
They just gave up 6 goals in the second period.
After pulling their goalie, and it's
I'm not a math guy. I'm trying to figure this out right now, but I can tell you that the Sens, since Steve Stais gave the "I believe in my goalies," they've allowed 18 goals on 91 shots. What's that save percentage? Give me that, chat. What's that save percentage? 18 goals on 91 shots.
Not good.
Oh, man. And I feel for the 2 goalies tonight. Like, yeah, they all haven't been that pretty. Probably don't want to see one from the rock star zone. But what a mess. I don't even want to say it's a bunch of individuals, not a team, because individually, to a man, 17 of them have underperformed.
Yeah, man. We can. I mean, it's 8-1. It's 8-1, for God's sake. We can go down a list here of every player, man. I think the only guy tonight absolved from anything is Jake Sanderson.
Yeah, he's been incredible.
He's been unbelievable against McKinnon. He really has, and yet McKinnon's sitting there with four points in the second intermission. I think that the pushback was okay. Like when they pulled Levy, there was some kind of push. Sogard made a couple nice saves, and then the goal gets disallowed.
And they fold.
And they think they're a lottery team again.
All that's gone through my mind tonight, Jack, is if this team gives up a potential top 10 pick to draft Logan Hensler 23rd overall. Wow.
We've talked a lot about, and on this show, Ross, you and I specifically have given Steve Stais every flower in the book, but someone's got to wear this. And I think something that I don't
worry, they'll send down Levy. We'll get Shepherd back up here. It'll be all good. We got faith in our goalies.
Or they're going to just keep starting Levy until he figures it out in 2030.
The live odds, shout out our friends at FanDuel, plus 7,500 for Ottawa at the second intermission
to get 8 goals on this team. Yeah, I don't know about that one, folks. The thing I'm getting at here with Staios, Ross, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I'm sure you guys are going to touch on it. And obviously, again, stay tuned for the postcast tonight. Stay tuned for LOSB tomorrow. There is going to be all the coverage in the world on this for Ottawa Senators right here on the Locked On Senators.
Hey, they're not boring.
They're not boring. They always give you something to talk about. What I want to ask you about is Steve Staios challenging the core of this team and challenging internal growth in this team. And like you mentioned, to a man, 2 guys, Max, Stützle hasn't had a good game tonight, but he has had a good season. 2 guys have done that. So now what? Now what? Basement of the Atlantic, getting lapped by other teams in rebuilds. No
Everybody in the
prospects.
division keeps winning.
It's bad. It's so bad.
It's one of the most pathetic performances I've seen. And again, we knew that this was the likely result in this game, that they were going to come out losers. But like I was kind of joking when I brought up the fact that Colorado scored 5 or more goals in seemingly every game they've played against Ottawa in the last half decade. And now they got an 8 spot up in the frickin' second intermission. It's just really pathetic right now, man.
Woo! They wasted a season. So they're like it'd take a miracle to make the playoffs at this point. Everything.
Oh, yeah. We're not using that word anymore.
The P word is out of the equation.
It's over.
You're now looking at 2 seasons under this whole regime with 1 year of playoffs sandwiched in between it. It's unacceptable. And it's all the things that just felt like they had kind of turned have fallen off a cliff all of a sudden in the span of a few weeks. It was fine for a little bit here. Like they were
a span of a few minutes. What have they scored? 5 goals in their last 6 shots? Like it feels like it.
Yeah. And like
poor Mads, man. He actually made a couple of good saves.
I know. Like they've had pushes, they've had good stretches this season, but goaltending has been awful all year.
But tonight's not just on goaltending. They're obviously at the back of it, but like I don't know, man. And I know we talked about this and you've been all over it, but like Nick Cousins doesn't have to go offside. It's not like he stretches. Like that's just a dumb, low hockey IQ play.
4 disallowed goals in the last 3 games for the Sens.
Yeah.
But you're right. Offside is a great way to see if a team's playing well. If you're going offside a lot, you're not playing well. And that's
they can't complete passes. Like they're a disaster. Like I'm trying to watch for comedic relief, but I'm still getting pissed off.
I'm saying to the chat the whole time, like I was speechless there. After goals 7 to 8, I didn't speak. I don't know what to say. I'm lost. It's 8-1. 8-1.
Like the only, and I'll try to go positive Pillsy. Everyone's gonna click off right away.
I got a positive pickle for everyone.
No, they
positive pickle.
They might need this.
I said that kind of midway. I think it was when it was 5-1. I lost track, but I said
just a complete humbling, pathetic performance. I tweeted out, I don't know how these 2 teams are in the same league. Like this is men versus boys.
Well, that's the other thing. The Colorado Avalanche are an unbelievable hockey team this year. So at most, like they don't play this team a lot. You don't need to build your team to beat the Avs.
But it's the same problems when they were going up against Utah, and the same problem with Detroit. Like they don't play until they're down 2-3-0.
The starts alone have been crippling. Ross, like,
dude, did you see this?
What are you showing?
No, they didn't.
What's up?
I think, oh my God. Sens are bringing in James Reimer on an AHL PTO.
Right, just now?
Right now, per Darren Dreger.
Oh.
I mean, for the AHL, like they need someone, right? Like it's Hunter Shepard and Jackson Parsons down there right now, and Belleville stinks. Belleville's got 13 wins all year.
Okay, can I ask you this then? If you were going to not start Mads Søgaard in these games, why did you bring him up for these games? Why not just keep Shepard up here if they're struggling so much? Like Søgaard's been all right for Belleville. I don't know. Just a colossal.
All right's a bit of a stretch.
I think I saw one game.
His last couple of games. He had one really good game shutout against Utica.
But that's my point. It's like
But
if
he's
you're,
let in 3 or more in every other game.
yeah. I mean, this is why I go back to that game. I saw in Laval he let in 3, but he was, or 4, I guess, but he was the best player on the ice for Belleville. Like they're a disaster down
I
there.
can't believe they signed James Reimer.
James Reimer's not a good goalie.
PTO. I mean, yeah, coming off the Spengler Cup. That's where we're going. We're poaching the Spengler Cup right now.
You know what? They did
We got faith
something.
in our goalies, Jack. We got faith.
They did something. I don't know if it's the thing.
Dude, this screams who's that dinosaur they brought in for training camp last? Nikolai Kulemin.
Yep.
This is Pooley going back to his Leafs days saying, whose number do I have in my phone?
I got another just dagger here. Blake Coleman, potential trade fit for the Habs, according to Pierre LeBrun in this pre-recorded insider trading segment. That's a guy, like literally 2 weeks ago, Ross, you and I in the postcast chat, we were talking about Blake Coleman as a possible fit for the Ottawa Senators. Now I'm starting to think, what can you get for David Perron at the deadline?
Oh, buddy, trade Perron yesterday. He's great goal against Toronto in Game 6. They gave us hope for 4 seconds, but that guy frustrates the hell out of me.
$4 million.
The big thing that like breaks my heart is this organization completely failed Claude Giroux. Completely failed him.
Huge. He's been great this season. I think he's having a great year.
Been awesome.
He's plus 11. I don't know. He's probably not doing well tonight in the plus minus category. I don't think anyone is, but looking last night, he's a plus 11 on this team. It's ridiculous. Pinto scored.
Yeah, I know. That's actually tough, though. That's bad for the stat.
That stat died this season, and we knew it.
No, it's actually this
Wasn't it bad
season
when he was hot at the beginning of the year?
They're 11-4-2 when he has a point this year.
You know what else? You know when else they had 11 wins, Ross?
What?
When Brady Tkachuk was injured.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember November?
Yeah.
November was the boogeyman, and instead they just expanded November to the rest of the season.
I can't believe how dumb this is. I can't believe what we're watching right now. We're sitting here waiting for a third period. We want more of it.
I'm staying live. I'm not going anywhere.
Of course you are. You're sick.
I'm a sick human. I told you on the phone this morning. I said I'm a sick human. I want to do this again. And then you know what even makes me even sicker, Ross? I sat down and I was positive. I'm like, maybe they got something here. Maybe this is the game where they turn it up. And then for a bit in the first period, I felt like they did a little bit. And then Levy lets in some softies. It's crazy. They've ruined their best goaltending prospect or young goalie.
They have 2 first-round picks in the organization. Neither of them are healthy. That's nice.
Neither are healthy, and neither have really stunned
No.
or progressed to a point where you're like, that's going to be an elite player. We better get Yakimchuk up at some point. Nothing to lose now. Not trying to win every game. Or are they? I don't know. Maybe they'll have back-to-back. Actually, no, Buffalo is going to be in the playoffs. So that second-round pick's not going to be
yeah. That's done. And then the thirds, I mean, that's a stretch to begin with. But you got Washington and Florida's third.
Just to contextualize, too, the Sabres, I think, are just now in a playoff spot. They might still be 1 point back, and they've won 12 of 13 games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're not making the playoffs.
No, Jack, we're done with that word. It's over.
P word is over. Out. No P word.
It's over.
The only P word I'm allowing is panic button.
Yeah, but it's not even a panic. Panic means that your heart rate is up. This team doesn't have a pulse right now. They're dead.
And whose feet does it lie on? If you
put the panic button in the casket. It's time to bury that thing. It's over. It's done.
If you had to answer right now, what is the main reason that this is happening? And I know that there's so many that it could be. I think.
Yeah, like the number one is the goaltending, but then I mean you could double back and say you let a veteran goalie go. You as management believed Levi Marilainen was going to be good enough in a full season, and then he was crap in training camp, and they didn't do anything about it. They said, we're going to roll with it. First game gives up 8 against Buffalo.
And
he's been fighting it ever since.
By the way, too, the sample now for Marilainen is a few games bigger than the sample last season. So what he's been this season is a bigger sample size than what he was last season. And I don't know what that means. But
So let me go back, because a lot of people were like, we'll contend when we're ready to contend. That's going to be the big thing out of the press conference. But the goaltending comments, let's look. We talked about what the results have been from the goalies, but he said that we have confidence in our goalies. And since then, they've flipped an NHL and an AHL goalie. They've had 2 goalie pulls, and now they're signing a veteran to an AHL PTO. So I don't know if his nose grew 3 sizes, but that was a Pinocchio answer right there. So I don't know. I get, like, he's got to say to an extent. Like, he did mention if the goalies were here, they'd tell you they have to be better. I guess he didn't want to run them over with the bus. But to then just go out and do all these moves with your goalies to try to find an answer after saying you're confident in them. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It really is. Pathetic, ridiculous, lifeless. This team's quit. They're quit. They've quit.
I just can't believe we're here. I can't believe we're here. That's what I'm at. I spent some time talking about this in the middle of the second, like where this team was, the steps they took forward, the jubilation of making the playoffs, the work they put in, the relief of getting there, and how the series went. You know, they go down early and they fight back. They show some life. The city comes alive. It's a rivalry series that you lose, but you cheer the team off the ice in Game 6. The captain's crying because he was so into it post game and wanted to win so badly. Like, that was an emotional night, bro. We did the post game. I was in there. That was a hard postcast, but the optimism had never been higher. And not even, I don't know, 5 or 8 months later, it's fallen off the rails.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it. And it's a knock on literally every single person in the organization. It's from ownership down, because this mentality.
How many interviews did they do all summer and all preseason where it's like, we're going to take a step. We're going to take a step.
It was almost.
The goal wasn't even to win the cup. Like, there's a number of teams where it's cup or bust.
Yep.
The goal was literally to get past the first round of the playoffs. Be one of the eight best teams in the league when it's all said and done.
In your division, you've got at least 3 teams with cup aspirations, at least. And then you've got another 3 knocking on the door of being a playoff contender every year. And they're all taking a step, it looks like. Montreal's going to win the division.
Yeah. They've got a boatload of prospects coming still.
Yeah, that Michael Hage guy looked all right.
Yeah, he's all right when he's not on a shootout. I'm obviously a big Jacob Fowler guy. Like,
yep. They had to do 2 score summaries because of how many goals went in on the Sens there.
Dude, 37-year-old James Reimer being signed mid-blowout loss. I almost think you announce that tomorrow morning. Like, I think that it is so embarrassing to have that come out mid-game.
It's
embarrassing.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. We thought Stais figured it out with the goaltending and solved it, but he actually might have made it worse than what Dorion had cooking.
Yeah.
Still paying Korpisalo too, by the way. Who also, we checked, has an 882 this year, and Olmark has an 881.
Nice.
Levy's
awesome.
back in. Levy's back in.
Wow.
Cool.
This team has no clue what they're doing. They are so disorganized. How the hell are you going to put them back in? Are you serious? What's the point of that? This is just like begging for an injury, right? Like, it's already one thing to go in, but to warm up, play a period, get a sweat, go off for an hour of real life time
on a back-to-back.
And when he played the night before, this is one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen.
It's Bush League.
This is Bush League. Yeah, I'm already getting fired up. Okay, I'm gonna prep the postcast here. Get that set up, Jack. Best of luck to you, brother.
Hey,
you can't say you weren't expecting this.
Maybe not this, but I expected something close.
Yeah,
this is still shocking. I said that. I said, like, I was ready for this, but it's still hard to watch.
Yep, me too. Same, man.
Yeah.
Marshy and I have the postcast. We'll be in it right after the game.
We will all be tuning in. But yeah,
right.
Everyone stick around. We will keep the ship rolling here.
Go Sens, go.
Do we say? I don't think we need GSG in the chat right now. I don't know.
No. Give me some L's in the chat. All right. See you,
All
Jack.
right, man. All right. There goes Ross Levitan, co-host, obviously, of the Locked On Senators podcast. You know where to find him. And obviously, under better circumstances, I'd be a lot more cheerful about doing these streams and stuff. And I am still obviously having a good time. So thank you, everyone, for sticking around. This is going to be a cathartic last 20 minutes here. Like I'm gonna have it. I'm not watching. Like nothing that happens here matters at all, actually. So this is just a full-on rant session. It's actually I think a little bit concerning for me anyway, because I've been a guy. I've had complete faith in this front office and what they've done. And I liked the let's challenge our the pieces we have, because they had good pieces, right? Like all these younger-ish guys entering their prime. Let's challenge them internally. Let's say let's see the growth. And like I said to Ross and asked him, other than two guys, it's been pretty flat. It's been pretty flat. And they're quickly again here becoming the laughing stock of the NHL overnight here. This is an embarrassing loss. This is, and it, like Colorado does this to teams. I think they waxed Florida 7-1 or 6-1 earlier this year in the same situation. Florida played in Utah, then went to Colorado. But you know what the difference with the Florida Panthers is? Other than the cups, the difference with the Panthers is that they won the game in Utah. So you can kind of give yourself that time at least. Oh, it looked like Timmy's going at Gerard. Gerard kept running away from him. Oh, he hit his head hard there. Oof. I don't know what Kachuk's talking about there. Ripping the helmet off, maybe? Timmy's such a gamer. He's such a gamer. I don't know if he hit his head on the ice there, but that looked close. A little too close. I don't know what the ref said there, but so I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat not liking what Slizzle just did. I don't really know why. It's 8-1. I don't know why Ottawa's getting the power play there. No sound, but I actually need to take these off. Not hearing anything, so I might as well. Yeah, so Timmy's fight distracted there, obviously. But I think him stepping up to fight there is a good indication of how he's one of the guys who stepped up. Sanderson and Stutzle have taken their game to a new level. And like, there's been individual performances that have really impressed me, obviously, all season. Like I mentioned Claude Giroux with Ross. I think he's kind of changed the way he's played a little bit. It's adapted into a bit of a smaller role. Batherson's been good offensively at times. He's really had some moments. I think there's been things to like about a lot of guys, but as we've gotten into the dog days of the season here, there's so many guys you just need more from. And the two goalies are number 1 and 2. But it extends further, right? Like you need a bit more from I know Shabbat had a good stretch there for a little bit, but more from him too, offensively, if he can chip in. Tyler Clevin has had moments where he hasn't been good enough this season. Shane Pinto's really, since his contract, I don't want to look up the stats, but I will. I don't know when he signed his deal, but I want to say since he signed, his production has just fallen off a cliff. Like just guys like Dylan Cousins has really underwhelmed in the last month or so. And, obviously, and there goes Kachuk going at someone for something. This is going to be a gong show this period. Absolute gong show. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know what you do from here. And I'll tell you for free, James Reimer ain't solving anything. But it is something. It's a goalie. If he can come in and give them better goaltending than they have now. Because let's I'm not even saying he's going to be in the NHL because it's an AHL deal. But if James Reimer can somehow provide .890 goaltending, that's better than what they've been getting. So that wouldn't be that bad, But how long are they going to wait to get him up in the NHL if he is playing well? A month? I don't know. Amadio is a good one there from Carlson. I just caught that comment. Try out as goalie coach. That'd be good. I meant to do this one. Amadio, I think, has 1 goal in his last 25 games. All of a sudden, he started hot too. Okay, so Traeger did say it's for him to come to the NHL. Well, all right. I don't know. I don't know if that's the guy you want, but it's a cheap signing. And if Ullmark comes back and you can salvage the season somehow, and Ullmark is back to at least close to what he has been for his whole career, which is still a good goalie and can win them games, and Reimer can come in and actually be a backup, and Marilainen can go back down to Belleville, that can solidify things. So maybe it is a help and an answer. I just think they waited too long to do something. I think that's way too long of a wait for the league worst goaltending at the halfway point of the season. So, yeah, I don't know what you can do from here. Other than that, Lars Eller just took out the goalie. Now the goalie's going after Pinto. Wedgwood, I think, is in net for... Did Lars Eller play for the Avalanche ever? I feel like he did. What am I trying to look for? I'm trying to look for Shane Pinto stats. When did he sign? I should also figure that out. I feel like Pinto... This period's a gong show, by the way. This is not a let's watch the period stream anymore. This is a let's talk about the Ottawa Senators and how they're crumbling in front of us. Pinto contracts. It was November 13th. Okay, so Shane Pinto, since November 13th, has 7 points in 15 games. He has 4 goals and 3 assists. I don't think that's good enough. He had a strong start to the year, but then all of a sudden you look at his, they're going to make this 9-1, aren't they? Oh, it's not the second intermission anymore. You look at his contract with Pinto and you're like, well, you need more production than what he's giving you for $9 or $7.5 million. I'm not a big on this where like teams get all pissy if the other team starts their top power play unit. But throwing McKinnon and Makar out there is a little much, no? It's 8-1. That's just a stat pad play from the Avalanche. Maybe they're mad. Maybe they're mad. I'm not a guy who usually gets pissed about that stuff, but that's a little bit unethical or etiquette. I don't know. I don't know what the word is. Got Kachuk out there on the PK. Look at Clevin making a move here. Oh, there's Brady. I know that it's I know it's 8-2. I know it's 8-2. Are they going to review it? Don't talk about that. That's not goalie interference. That's a flop, if anything. All right, 8-2. Don't look now. Here come the Sens. What I was going to say before there, I know that this is a... Are they challenging? What are the Avs doing? I'm losing my train of thought here every time. I know that this is a blowout, not good. Doesn't look good for the captain. But I think Kachuk's had a good game. He's been more effective than he was last night. So that's a bonus in these times. We'll take it. The bar's on the floor, but we'll still take it. We'll still take it. A Kachuk shorthanded goal is something I did not expect to see tonight. I didn't think he'd be out on the PK. I think the worst part about this is just getting texts from people that maybe casually follow the Sens or sometimes follow the Sens or that know you follow the Sens, you know? And like just hearing them being like, dude, what's happening? And like, I wish I had an answer. I don't know. They're still snapping around on the power play. This is like, I don't think that they're obviously not going to tank. They're obviously not going to tank. I'm going to put these back on. I feel weird. For some reason with these on, it feels like because I can kind of hear myself. It actually feels like I'm talking into a mic. If I have them off, I'm just talking and I feel like I'm not locked in. So this is me locking in. The drafting's still been suspect. It's still been suspect under this regime. And I think that's important to remember here. Like there's a few guys who I'm excited to see, you know, like Montgomery looks promising. I think Javon Moore is having a good season. But these are mid-round picks that you're just hoping to hit on. The idea of them becoming impact NHLers is just so far-fetched that I don't know what this team does. And again, like this is they've been bad. They've had a terrible stretch here. They're going to be 2-5 at a time when they needed to go 5-2, and that would have probably even not been good enough. But it is a stretch and it's a time frame. And like we said, there's so much hockey left. So it's not like I'm still not as doom and gloom. It's just what we're watching contextually with what's going on in the league is so concerning because this feels like it's the beginning of a collapse. You know, we've seen our fair share of those in Ottawa, and this feels pretty similar to that. So I just think that if it really feels like the team's quit, then it's a question of what next. And I know I'm not even saying anything of substance to like analyze it. It's just that's what we're watching right now. And I just wish it was a different result tonight. Obviously, like they but they just can't. They don't start games on time. They don't start well enough in hockey games. It's 8 straight games letting in the first goal, and they did it again at the beginning of the season. And something's not working here because they're going to miss the playoffs probably. So, all right, I need the chat to. I'm not ignoring it obviously, but I'm just yapping. Let's get something from the chat here that I can use as a little kicking point here. Trying to find something. Okay, yeah, like they are 5 points out. I like it's just the climbing they got to do to get back in. Like over other teams, they just need help. They need help, and obviously those head-to-heads are big. But losing to teams like Columbus doesn't help. Losing to the Leafs doesn't help in those races. And the Panthers coming up, they're also a team. The defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions are also a team that they're fighting with for a playoff spot right now. And you play them Saturday. It's a massive game, but it feels hopeless. It feels hopeless. So I appreciate it, Sense Fan and Van. I know you're right. I'm actually going to go through the starred chats. There's messages here. All from Jim George. Appreciate it, Jim. Sorrows for Omlark. Sure. If it was on paper and it worked, maybe. I don't know, man. This is something that I think we do need to mention. You know, like Steve Staios is not going anywhere. The tandem of him and Andlauer have gone back so many years that this is not something that Andlauer is going to come in and change this early into his tenure at all. So I think, for better or worse, Staios is here for the long haul. So I don't think that's even close to an option. I just think there's a lot of internal discussions this team has to have with each other or whatever it is, a closed door meeting. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just shocked. And I think the problem is the players are shocked too. This is not a, like they've had games this year where they've played so well and not gotten the result that they're probably going crazy. Ultimately, here's Drager. Ultimately, the hope is Reimer will provide good backup to Linus Ullmark when he returns. I guess. And I guess that's kind of what I was saying. It's something, but like I can't believe what they did to this kid's confidence for Maryland. Like just Bush League. It's Bush League. What they're doing to him right now. Let's look at some other chats here. Yeah, like this is the thing. Like this isn't a random hire, right? Like Staios is Andlauer's guy, so I don't think we're. But then again, like it just kind of reflects on ownership at some point, right? Too, like it's this is all a machine here that they've literally tore everything up from the ground and put their own guys in, and this is where we are. We're 8th in the Atlantic Division on January 9th tomorrow. It's not good. Not good. This is a team that was like, I was hoping they were going to come in and like push for home ice in the playoffs, you know? I thought they were going to, that's what the season they were going to have. Thank you for giving us a forum to watch, to wallow in our collective misery. You're welcome, first of all. I like doing this too, and I appreciate the love there. I do like doing this. This is much more fun for me than sitting on my couch and tweeting and just typing endlessly about this game. And I'll be doing that post game. Don't worry, I'll be there. You can find me at Jack Richardson on X. I'll be there. But that being said, this is more fun to do it this way. Watch with fellow Sens fans and commiserate at the same time here. And again, I'm going to plug it again. Stay tuned for the postcast. We are going to, the boys, Martian and Ross will give you guys a good show tonight. I can promise that. 8:11 left. 8 minutes and 11 seconds left. Yeah, this is might be a rock bottom. Would you here's my big question for the last little bit of third period, and let me know in the chat. Obviously, we got 255 people here sticking around, sticking it out for a back-to-back loss, a 9 p.m. Eastern puck drop. It's 11:30, 11:28 Eastern. Here's my question: is this salvageable this season? And if you say no, tell me why. And if yes, tell me why as well. I know that you can't type a bunch in the comments, but I'd like to know, is this salvageable this season? And yes or no, why or why not? I'm curious. Define salvageable. Okay, so I think also importantly the context of how tight the East is. Like they could have had a good season here and missed the playoffs. Like let's not miss that. The East could be one of those years where it's like you need 100 points to get into the playoffs. I don't know what pace everyone's on, but there's so many teams that are just so close and on good paces. Like I mentioned, if the Sens were in the West, they'd be 1 point out of a playoff spot right now. They would have been in it to start the week. Like just context like that. So when I say salvageable, it's they're pushing for a spot until the end of the season. That's salvageable to me, where you're still competitive in April. Unsalvageable is scorched earth, sell at the deadline, mail it in. That's my definition of salvageable. Because they're only 4 or 5 points out right now, guys. It's not that big of a hole to climb out of. I believe last season they were 4 points out in February. There are reasons that this could turn around, and maybe James Reimer being the backup is the answer. But it's also a huge question mark. When is Linus Ullmark coming back? And when the other question is, when he does come back, how good is he going to be? So, like there's lots of that to unpack as well. And I think that we need to keep that in mind. I'm just watching the Avs power play here. I'm at least they started their second unit this time. That's nice of them. Probably just didn't want to give McKinnon and Makar another minus after being on for that shorty against. That hurts the plus minus of this wagon of a team. I like that this plane ride home tonight for the Sens. Like it there's got to be some conversations here from leadership. Like it's one of those situations, right, where we're watching a season slip away. And the reason I'm asking if you think it's salvageable, if everyone thinks it's salvageable and what that looks like, is because it's still at that point. It's not completely lost. But if we get this and the Utah game last night, every night, and the Columbus game, which have happened kind of sequentially here, it is lost. So that might be my answer, is if we get this, then yes. And there's a couple guys, like I'm still watching 85 and White go balls to the wall here. And you just can't say enough about it. Jake Sanderson. Here's the top unit for the Avalanche, by the way. McKinnon's ridiculous. He's so good. Yeah, here's a chat here. Conversations have happened, Jack, for years. It's time to move on. They don't have the mental fortitude to do it in Ottawa. That's the thing. I don't completely agree with that. They did it last year, like it was last season wasn't I think what's difficult is you can look at last year, obviously with the context of this, and say maybe it was a fluke or maybe it was a one-off. We don't really know that yet. But the problem is it's hard because last season they played well, man. They played well. And they earned everything they got, and they earned a playoff spot. They played very good hockey under this exact same coaching staff and exact same management, pretty similar roster. Not much has changed. And it's been completely underwhelming and disappointing. So Greg just got tossed for something. Not too sure what. And Green typically is pretty, I'd say. But goaltending, since Sands and Van, goaltending hasn't changed. It's gotten worse, but it's the same two guys. Forsberg played more last season than Marilainen did, but Levy stepped in for a good amount of games, you know? Yeah, I think I believe it's at that point where we just got. I keep saying that I really am at a loss for words. I apologize. And I think the thing too is obvious. There are teams that can overcome bad goaltending, and that's just been the elephant in the room all season for the Sens. It hasn't been good enough at all. It's been worse in the league, and it'll get worse after this game. 8 goals on 33 shots is not going to help the team save percentage. But other teams are able to outscore their goaltending issues, you know. And I think that's. The frustrating part is like they aren't offensively gifted enough, and they have players like Stutzel has been outstanding this season. They just don't have enough guys who can overcome that bad of goaltending, I think. And it's difficult. It's difficult. This is a point. I keep clicking the wrong one because the comments are coming in so furiously, and that's a good thing. I love it. So keep them coming. But this is a great point from Matthew here. Like the Avalanche are unbelievable. This is an unbelievable hockey team. And I mentioned it, like the Panthers did this. I remember I watched that game because I was like, Panthers, Avalanche, I want to see this. And the Avalanche steamrolled them in the same situation because Florida played in Utah. But the difference with the Panthers, other than the 2 cups that they've just won and all the playoff success they've had, is that they went into Utah and won. And then they came to Colorado and lost. The Sens didn't do that. They didn't play well last night. They didn't earn a win in Utah. They didn't deserve to win in Utah. And then they come in and lose this game and give up the extra point. So they don't get in my opinion, they don't get to play the card. It's the Avalanche. That's really frustrating for the Sens. Now, like, I think one thing to watch for here in the 4 minute and folks, I know I'm doing my best here, but this is just a tough one to talk about. Let's be honest. There's just nothing to cling on to. There's been no positives. It's been 2 really bad games, and this is just an awful one. But stay tuned for the postcast because the boys will get in here, and they will give you something to chat about. Looked like Cousins just got shaken up there a little bit on that little play. I think just what to watch for in these last few minutes, see if anything gets physical. Because they play again in 2 days. Got to come back and get ready for the defending champs in your own building, who also kind of dominated them in the second game of the season this year. It's just slipping away. It's slipping away. And I think that's what we're starting to watch. Stützle was just out there on the PK. Timmy had a PK shift. He was obviously off for 5 minutes. And I think it's just let's get out of here last couple shifts. And Panthers have lost. And you know who they've lost to, Nick? The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. Just to put a cherry on top for that one. Yeah, I'm going to start to wrap up here. I'm going to get out of here pretty quickly after the game ends for me. Yeah, like I know Ross is pretty hard on the Did you not expect this a little bit? I didn't. Didn't expect them to win. But 8-2, it was over after the second. They just completely gave up in the second period defensively. They hung out Sogard. They hung him out to dry. And there's very little to be positive about. With the Ottawa Senators right now. And it's just a crazy conversation to be having after you can say it in the context of last season, but even in the context of November, they went 11-5-4 without their captain and sat, I think, third in the Atlantic Division at American Thanksgiving. And the only way forward was up. And with this loss, they're going to fall to 8-11-1 since Brady came back, which feels closer to a November stretch we're used to seeing that they'd have to dig themselves out of. Only this time it's January, and this is game 42. This is a little later than we're used to, and there's not as much time to make up ground like they had last season. Last season, at this point, they were just coming out of a bad stretch and had gotten their record back to a respectable spot. This year, they're in this free fall right now, and we don't know if this is the rock bottom of this season. And there's reason to believe it won't be. So we'll see. I'll have some words at the Hockey News probably tomorrow. Everyone can check out. I had a piece on Brady Tkachuk today that came out. I'm going to shamelessly plug my own writing, which I know, win or lose, like I'm excited to do. I love writing about this. And I think, again, like these streams, I'm still having a blast. Viewership's been good. It's been better tonight than it has been last night. I think as we keep going, I love doing this. I really do. It'll be fun for wins when there's more to talk about if they ever win again. But just with a minute left here in the third, obviously just want to thank everyone for stopping in. Thank everyone for joining the second ever watch party on another brutal night for the Ottawa Senators, though. It's almost midnight. It's been a long night for everyone here. It's almost been a 3-hour stream once again. Yeah, folks, I think I forgot to put the GCP ticker in, but obviously the vibes are free at the Glebe Central Pub. It's a great way if you're going to go to the game on Saturday, if you've got tickets already, even if you don't, just go out, go enjoy the game. I know that it's not exactly the best product on the ice right now, but you can't beat a Saturday night at the CTC, and you also can't beat the best way to get there, which is at the GCP. The Sens shuttle is by far the best way to get there, but my favorite part is the way out. Everyone knows that parking lot, not the best for Sens fans. Leaving, especially in the middle of the winter, the bus gets you right out, right back downtown, right back to the GCP for some drinks. So check out the Sens shuttle at the GCP at 779 Bank Street. Vibes are free at GCP, and they are the proud sponsor of this watch party, which is coming to a close. Mercy, we made it. An 8-2 game is over. The Ottawa Senators get pumped 8-2 by the Colorado Avalanche. 8-2. The boys will have the postcast for you coming up here soon. Don't go anywhere. I'm sure it'll be a show for them. I'll be tuning in. But again, just want to thank everyone for stopping by. It means a lot. I had a blast, even though it was 8 goals against. And where did the Sens go from here? We'll have to find out. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We'll see you later. Go Sens, go.